Hey, it's Yash, and today we're going to dive into the fundamentals of Clay in this course, Clay 101. We'll cover all the fundamentals you need to learn Clay and get started. Before we dive into Clay itself, let's take a step back to answer the classic question we get from every new user. What exactly does Clay do? We acknowledge that this question is harder to answer than people expect because there's multiple correct answers. For example, can Clay help enrich data more accurately and automatedly? Yes. Can Clay help automate outbound more effectively? Yes. Can Clay help automate lead scoring and inbound qualification? Also yes. I could keep going on, but you get the point. This is one of the biggest strengths of Clay. It's incredibly powerful and flexible. On the flip side, it's also what can be most intimidating about Clay to brand new users. We've had people tell us in the past that trying to learn Clay without guidance is like trying to learn a musical instrument without a teacher. Sure, you can strum around and make some noise, but you may never get around to actually making good music, or in our case, powerful workflows. We call this the blank canvas problem. A blank canvas is powerful. It literally has infinite possibilities. But it's also intimidating. Ever struggled with writer's block before? It's the exact same thing. It's an obstacle that plagues all creative endeavors, Clay included. To make that blank canvas a little less intimidating, we built a framework to break Clay down into 4 easy steps you'll use in every workflow. We call this FETE, short for Find, Enrich, Transform, and Export. Step 1, finding data. No matter what you're automating, you need some place to start. Often, that looks like prospecting company and people data using any of Clay's native sources or importing data from a third party. Then, you're ready for step 2, enriching data. Once you've got that initial list of data, you need to add flavor and color to it. You'll enrich that data using waterfalls, AI, web scraping integrations, and tons more. Once you've enriched your data to your heart's desire, it's time for step 3, transforming data. Once you have all the data you need, you still have to use AI formulas, or native Clay functions to transform that data into the format that you want. You might be generating short snippets of AI copy, maybe research summaries, or maybe just cleaning and formatting the data so it's presentable to your revenue team. And then once that's done, it's time for your final step, step 4, exporting data. Finally, you're going to take all the data that you've worked so hard to enrich, gather, and clean, and then export that data to an email sequencing tool, CRM, or alternative destination of your choice. To recap, that's find, enrich, transform, and export, or FETE for short. As an example, if you're building an outbound Clay table, you're going to need to 1, find a list of companies and people to reach out to. 2, enrich that list with basic contact information like emails, phone numbers, job titles, and more. 3, transform all your research into snippets of copy you'll use in emails to your prospects. And finally, 4, export your final data and copy into a CRM and an email sequencing tool to start your outreach. No matter what you're building in Clay, you're always going to be using most, if not all, of the steps of FETE. Each of the lessons that follow are going to give you a quick overview of a different feature in Clay that covers one of the core elements of FETE. But before we get started with Clay itself, we've got one more framework that will help you accelerate your Clay learning journey. We call it the Jigsaw Framework. See you there.